Hello everyone, it's Sloth here and we are continuing our adventure with Esper Control. So it's pretty classic deck. If you want very short introduction, watch the other video. I've been playing with this one with good success. So here's the deck list and let's go into the games. I'm pretty sure that's the most important part of playing Magic. Alright, so we have a lot of bad lands. We go first and we have a lot of draw, so I will take it just because we can fix everything with those omens, and we even have some removal, so if we get correct mana, that's perfect hand. No, perfect is a strong word, it's a very good hand then. And right now it's pretty average, but it's average, not horrible. Okay, that's something. Not great, but something. I would prefer the other colors, but sure. So what do we have here? It might be like if you see green and creatures, it will be collected company deck because like they always take it. And this one can be for Shark Typhoon, very nice one. Sure, so you get life. I think we try to bait him, and I will try to not show that we have any kind of answer, an instant. If I do it fast enough, he might think that we don't have anything. Especially that we cannot counter anything, so we can just pass everything. So that's a reflex thing, guys. I need to click really fast so he doesn't see the stick. Yeah. Nothing we can do about this one. So as you can see, it's always the case. Okay, I think I wasn't fast enough, but that was enough. And I'm quite happy with this, because we need a land, so I wanted to cycle it even for free, and we got a good block. And enemy appreciates our great, amazing play. It's amazing that we already got 5 tap lands. Soon it will be all of them. But that's fine, but it really slows us down. For example, right now we could use a 4 mana play or remove and revitalize, and we can do neither. Okay, so whenever you gain life, put a ++ counter and scry. So yeah. Not great for us, but I guess. And the enemy is starting to go crazy mode. And right now it's too late for this one. Actually, it was late last turn, so it maybe didn't matter as much, but it's still bad. Okay, so we are at high HP, so we don't need this one. We prefer this one because it's better draw. Enemy still has 3 cards, so Sweeper isn't perfect yet, and this land is finally getting rid of all those troubles with mana. I will pay 3 life even, just to get rid of this. Okay, and now we can actually start playing the game. Because it's huge if we do a removal and counterspell, or just counterspell. Like, in a way we could remove the counters just to give us a bit more HP, but I think that's not super great play. We probably should dig for some kind of answer, so I think I will go for this one, unless the enemy plays something strong again this turn. Like 3 damage isn't huge. And it's good that we have Shark Typhoon, because then he might think double to attack with those. So it saved us 2 HP, pretty much. And we are at 8, so that's not very bad. With this and this, we have much more life than we normally would. Okay, so this digs 4 cards. And this digs 1, 3, 4. So this one is pretty better, and this one is easier to play on top of something else. So we have a land, so I think Shark Typhoon. But with what? It's either Absorb or Teferi. So we have Absorb, the enemy doesn't play much. And we will have double Absorb up. Or Shark Typhoon and Absorb. But Teferi is huge. I really would like Teferi, but I think we need more time. And we still can have the other flashback cost for the memory lapse. Because this lets us block something and still counter, or just double counter, so whatever the enemy does, we are relatively fine. And this one will be huge, because he probably will sacrifice a treasure, make a token, this gains life, this gains life, this gains life. It's nearly 10-10, so we have to block it. And we are trying to get some kind of removal in the meantime. Yep, you got all the life you want in your life. You have a lot of life. And I don't. I hope they don't have any kind of removal, but usually those decks don't. And we have Absorb if anything. And this time he will attack with everything, because even if I have Shark Typhoon, I have to block this one, so they are free to go. So we are at 4 HP. Yep, that's correct decision. And let's just do this and make sure that we have Absorb mana, because things can go wrong. And yes, it grows. And I won't make any kind of further joke with this. So we will block this one. The enemy probably will make a token, because it should be enough to kill us next turn. But if he doesn't use anything, we are still fine, because then we can dig for answers. So it's three cards deep into the deck, and we just need to find a Wrath. And then I think we win the game. Okay, so go for blockers. That's the obvious choice. And we are at 4. And now the enemy is thinking if he should play and possibly give us Absorb or just take a token. And as I thought he will, he just decided not to play anything, and it might be a correct choice. If we don't find a sweeper, we do lose. This one doesn't really change anything anymore, it's just way too late. So yeah, I will make a stop. And now let's think, because I can dig 2 cards here, 2 cards with this, and still cast a sweeper, or I can gain 1 card. But 1 card won't make a difference, because it's 7, and this makes this 7, so I still die. Of course, it's perfect to have both Wrath and the counterspell, but I don't think it will happen. So I have white mana in my hand. So let's do it like this. This is our main chance of winning this game, and if we whiff, I think, yeah, we are just dead, so we need to find it. Like, we are through 1/3 of the deck, and we have 4 Wraths, so if we don't find it, like, okay, not really much we could do. So both bottom, the enemy must be super happy about it, and let's draw and this this is exactly the play that we wanted. And thanks to this play, we got it. If we didn't use the Omen and we just used this one, we would just lose. And yes, please make a token in response. Just show me how it's done, bro. So that's what I want to show you guys, that even if it looks super bad, you just need to play to your outs and think what needs to happen to maximize the chance that you got it. So this was the last card that we would draw this game. This would be actually the top card if we went for this one, and 3 life wouldn't change anything. So yeah, the only counter argument would be to try to be super extremely lucky. Oh man, did he has it before? It's a good game. I didn't see it. Maybe it was there and I just didn't see it. So we still lost, unfortunately. But I think like we did as much as we could. I need to watch this video and check if he had the land all the time. I think he probably had, because it doesn't really have haste and so on. Oh man, so yeah, still good game. That was super close. And we are going first with quite good hand. On the draw it would be quite average because we don't have much reaction. Our only reaction is the Shark Typhoon pretty much, and a long... Yeah, I like the guy's name, Flock of Pigeons. I have high hopes for him, even though the avatar is red. So, you know, he has some bad points at the start, but I still believe in the guy. And we are starting to get everything set. I think it should be some kind of creature deck given the colors, so this shouldn't be a dead card. Okay, and we hit the jackpot. That's exactly what we want. So, to be really honest, I think we are pretty good already, and I don't mind this. Like, I want both of those cards. So, let's go for this one, because this one looks better, so I will take it for later. Because this one hits for like 4, I would think, 4 or 5 at the most. So this one pretty much starts it for the full turn. Okay, so it will... I think next turn it won't be 6/6. We could even go for the Omen, but I think we will have better times later for it. I could block with this, but it can block more. Those colors don't really remove creatures, so this one is like 10-10 in a way. And I could sweep, but why would we sweep when we are so much alive? If the damage goes way overboard, we can do this, and if it doesn't, I will just draw some cards, because I like drawing cards, because I'm playing a blue deck, especially if he doesn't buff them. Like 5 damage is nothing. So, yeah. Okay, interesting play. That's interesting. He didn't choose to play it before the attack. So I think it's correct play, but it's interesting. I would really like land, to be perfectly honest with you. So this one is fine. So if he plays something, then he gets additional life, it's 5/5. Then this one turns, then we can use Vraska Contempt to kill it. This will be 4 mana. I didn't want to take it. I really didn't want to take it. Okay, that changes things. I wanted land. And play the land, then wait and use Vraska to kill this. But in this situation I will just change my play. Oh man, that's not how I wanted to play it out. But he has only 4 mana. This one is useless as long as, like, until he has some kind of creatures. That was his main damage engine. Okay, I don't know what this card is. So, whenever 1 or more 1/1 counters are put on this guy, you may create a squirrel and evolve. Whenever a creature you control comes into play, if that creature has greater power of toughness or toughness, put 1 counter. Okay, so that's a pretty huge thing, but it has to enter the battlefield, and it probably won't. Like, man, this lack of land was really painful for us. I guess it's Shark Typhoon. Or maybe the Chemister inside, yeah, because we don't need card draw, and we want counterspells. Yeah. So we pretty much counter everything, especially this one, because it gives a lot of counters and so on, and then counters goes here, then he has the squares, then it goes overboard really fast. And I think he doesn't have a perfect like draw, so he's going quite slowly. But like, bro, I really want some kind of lands. You know what? I don't freaking care. I just want to get rid of all the stuff that I'm having, and I want my lands. And this is magic for you guys. So right now, for 19 cards, we got 4 lands. 4 lands at 19 cards. So it's like 23%, and we have nearly half of the deck with the lands. I'm so mad. I even wasted my play this turn just to start having plans. And this is still the mistake from before, that I should have taken the land. So yeah, to be really fair, it was two lands here as well. So maybe I should have those. And the enemy says nice. And normally I wouldn't do it as well, but we are a bit behind and I can still pay the tax. So let's get rid of all this weird stuff, and then I hope we can finally rebuild, use Teferi, and start removing thread by thread. So we have a lot of cards, so right now we can go 1 for 1. I do hope. Okay. So I will take this one, and hopefully we can fix this mess of a game. That was super weird. I got really mad after we didn't draw the card. Okay, so that's quite important. We don't like the dog. This one doesn't give him life. I don't think he can kill the Teferi. And I'm fine with the dog. Even if it saves 1 creature, we have spot removal for this, so that's not a huge problem. Okay, and I do think we can kill this one. But then he will save it. So maybe actually let's go for, because it will make token anyway, so we can as well just draw a card. The enemy cannot have Collected Company because no mana, so it's quite fine this turn, and we can get rid of one of the guys. It doesn't super matter, but the more we slow this down the better. Because all of this because we have a sweeper, so we don't super care about stuff. And we have 5 mana from the enemy, so he can play multiples. Okay, so we have a lot of HP. I think we have some time to do stuff. So what we will do, this is exile effect, so he cannot save it. And we have removal, token, absorb, and we only need to prevent the spam. He cannot kill Teferi, and I so don't care that I will just pay life. And given that we untap, we have quite a lot of room, so we have still 5 mana, even though we killed it with Vraska. Yes, we won't be able to exile Heliod, but he's so far from Heliod, and we have so much removal that I don't think it will happen, to be honest. And even if, we can just sweep with Teferi. Okay, and this is the counter. So we need to remove all the triggers. So this one benefits from the life gain. Otherwise, like, this is small trigger, but it's slow. And we can remove the creature that he tries to pump. If I had additional mana, I would just kill this one. I could prevent a counter, but I'll just do this. Because we want to kill it anyway. Because it will be a pain in the ass. So why not preserve some HP from the Planewalker? Like our favorite Teferi, the good guy, the game closer, the non-banned card. Yeah. So as you can see, the enemy is thinking, not sure why. Like, I'm tapped out, so I won't kill anything. So, not sure what we are waiting here for. So I will just talk in the meantime. So what are the problems for us? I think we need to avoid any kind of multiple creatures per card. So that's why we need to save counterspell for. And as long as Teferi is alive and we draw cards every turn, I could get rid of Hallowed, but I don't super care. And that's good. So we could even sweep the board, I guess. But it's not scary at all, and we have stuff. So let's draw this, because it's free, because we have untap phase, thanks to super balanced Teferi. And I will get this one, I guess. Lands are cool, but we probably will find them anyway. So we can get this. We play it as a creature, because we still have Absorb, and this makes the situation that the enemy cannot really attack us. Like, he can, and he probably will, yeah, but he cannot kill Teferi even on the board, so he needs something else, and we will counter something else. So let's counter it, because we have a lot of tools and he's nearly tapped out. So now he cannot really attack, and he cannot kill Teferi, and we are super good situation. So we aren't pressured for life, we aren't pressured for Teferi survival, and we get at least 2 cards a turn. Yep. Okay, so this one is the other side of the coin, so we only have removals and Teferi, but it's not worst. I would really like a counterspell, but you cannot have it all. And I think the sweeper is the most important. Usually in those ranks you just meet some kind of aggro. I rarely find any control matchup, but okay, it might be Jeskai, so maybe we actually got a control matchup. And then it's even a bit worse, because we only have 1 card. But we will see. And probably we should have 1 castle. I will change the deck list, I think, because versus control it's very good. And we will fake having a counterspell, because if you are playing against any kind of control, or of course it's not control, but that's even better for us, because it's slow aggro. I like this interaction, this and this. So yeah, you never want to show the enemy that you have literally nothing. That's not what you want as a control mage. I'm thinking about killing this one. Cycling cards is quite powerful, but there can be better ways to play this out. I really would like to draw something, or maybe use this as an end step play. I don't want to tap out, but I think we probably should. I really don't like this play. No reason to just wait for his turn, we are going to do it anyway, and it gives him some potential to answer. Yeah, I guess. And at this point, because we have Memory Deluge, I think Teferi is enough. Like, yeah, it can die, but still it will trade 1 for 2.
I know my responsibility.
And it really slows him down, because right now he needs a spot damage that kills Teferi or something with haste. And this deck isn't super aggressive, like, he has strong creatures, but not as many like 1 mana haste creatures and so on. So, you know, I guess that's reasonable, because he doesn't have mana to use it. So what he got? Helix, that's great versus Teferi. Command is also, and Kavu. So it was fine for him, and I think fine for us in a way. So we might eat 1 damage, but I would rather force him to use the Helix, because we will get other Teferi sooner or later. And we want to use something main phase. This way we get to untap. Okay, so that would slow him. So he would probably use Helix or probably Prismari Command and the Cavo. So yeah, that wouldn't be a lot. And then we can use the draw. How many creatures does he have? Not really a lot. I will use this one, but it's possible we should use the Wrath of God, because this one is a bit more flexible. But okay, let's try this one, because I want to use this, and I hope I will get some good shining stuff. Okay, I really like what he's doing. So basically what he's doing is wait until I tap out at the end of my turn, and then he will use the Helix to kill the Teferi. Which is interesting, because maybe I shouldn't tap right now, just draw my cards, and possibly I get to play a counterspell then. So let's see. Oh, that's a good play. That's a very good play by him. Usually they don't put a stop on the this part. Yeah. I want to give him some love, because that was the perfect play, and it really sets us behind.
I suppose that's how it was meant to happen.
And I did it purely because usually people don't play so well, so you can actually cheat a bit. Because I would lose Teferi, but normally when they don't do it at your end step, they will just do it at your main phase, and this means at least 1 card, and usually you have initiative, so they cannot play anything unless you do something. So you just draw with Teferi. Yeah, you just draw with Teferi, and yes, they kill him, but you actually got 1 card in hand, which could be a counterspell, and the second card that even if Teferi dies, you got a free card. So usually that's the case, but this guy is really good. Tonight, Himada. I don't know what that means, but something smart probably. I really like the guy. This is how you should be playing. Oh man. That's not great. So it was our cards, target from a graveyard. Okay, so and a graveyard. Alright, so this will be interesting, and we want to wait until this triggers, because okay, that's pre-combat phase, my bad, because we don't want Clothis to use this on our card, and I think we need black more than the other one. So this is very good, and we should keep it for Clothis if it transforms ever. And if it doesn't, that's also fine. And we want to leave our mana, because it will probably target Memory Deluge, and we want to be ready. I think I will chomp block with the Rider, because it's 7 HP, that's quite a lot. I don't think we will get better trade than this, so yeah. That's what we have to do. It's not optimal, the enemy has free turn, but I think with Sweeper we can answer a lot. Oh man, that's a very good choice. So I think Shark Typhoon, and right now I'm thinking about either Typhoon, Wrath, or Omen. Actually even Spot Remover might be good, but in the end I don't know how he kills. Like, I honestly, I'm not sure how he kills us. Shark Typhoon seems super good, to be honest. But do we want to? We have a sweeper, so I guess we have Omen as well. That was a very hard choice, and possible that maybe something else was better. So yeah, I think we just block it. It's not perfect, but next time we will use Shark anyway to kill the Cavu. So let's have as much HP as possible. Those kind of decks can finish you randomly. Alright, so let's do the blue deck thing and just never play anything during our turn. Yeah, everyone hates the Teferi. Ouch, that hurt. The good thing is that the shark will be so huge that it's not really easy to burn it. So he might kill it, but it will be problematic. So we have 7. And don't forget, the best part is that we still get to draw a card, so it's pretty much a free minion. Like, it's only mana based without like using a card in a way. Yep, you can have this. This one is interesting. It might be very useful later. So I could kill it, but I prefer to use the Shark Typhoon, I think. Let's see how many of those he has. We have quite a lot of healing, so it won't be a problem. And as you can see, he knows that Vraska is strong card versus his deck. But I think he won't really transform it. 7 is hard to get for him. So let's see if he discards a card. Yep. So that was the long. So 8 probably. 7, 10, 8. Yep. And we still get to draw a card. Actually, it's possible we maybe should hardcast it and swarm him, but I like more a control approach, and I hope he doesn't have another removal, and it seems he doesn't, but he might draw it. And after we do this, we really get a card advantage. This one isn't scary. Yep, so he needed 2 cards to just kill our 0 card. And that's what you see. We have 8 cards and he has 3. Alright, so we have 2 cards here, a lot of cards here. I don't think he needs it, so later we might exile it with the Bog. Honestly, I would pay life, but I think it would be just too greedy in a way. We could get rid of Prophes, but I think we have so many cards that we can just draw. And I want to untap, because it's pretty darn good. We can use a lot of mana with the Omen. So let's do it like this. And I think that we are on a very good way to win this game. So like, yes, it will be 2 damage per turn, but we have already like 6, 8, so we are at 17. We have a lot of time. Yep. Try again. You need to remember that Teferi cannot be really killed with 1 spell, because usually nobody plays it with... Yeah, that's a lie. It's quite often to play it like this. Okay, so if he dies, and he won't die because we will use the Vraska Contempt. So that's a good try, but that's exactly why we wanted Vraska. So I'm pretty darn sure that this effect doesn't count as die, because die means it was moved to the graveyard. And we could even get rid of Crowfish, which might be... Probably if we really wanted to be a, you know, an asshole, we could just start, and enemy has so little chance to win, he would probably give up, but we won't do it like this. So now the question, do we want to get rid of Crowfish? I don't really care so much. I would prefer cards.
You know what?
Especially that this isn't a bad draw. So let's do it like this. for all the pros that want to learn. You go full control, you pay, yep, it enters the battlefield. Now you have this yeah, exactly, exactly as I mentioned. But just for you to know, then you answer this effect on the stack with the scry effect, because Omen is already in the game, so you can scry 2, then it triggers first. So you first scry 2 cards, then you scry 2 cards and draw a card. So it's much better to scry 4 and draw a card than to scry 2, draw card and scry 2, and then you get it next turn. So that's something that you might want to know. If you have a lot of mana and not really value cards, that's exactly how you should play it, especially with Teferi, because you already untap, so the whole thing costs you 3 mana for 4 scry and a draw. Yeah, that was long, but I think it can be useful for you guys.
With